Hey guys, Kathy here. So today's lesson for my Beauty Basics series is on Face 101. Simple, right? Well, I'm sure you would agree that the number of people who obviously haven't taken the time to study their face and figure out what works with their features is quite large. So today's topic is quite large, so I do apologise, the video will be quite long, but it is all still necessary. But we're going to be covering your face shape, your colouring or your undertone, as well as your skin type. So as far as the actual face shape itself, there are 7 basic types, and you will fit somewhere within one of those 7. And so to start off with is the classic oval shape, and again, same as a previous video, I have little pictures. I'm hoping you'll actually see them this time instead of hiding somewhere down here. But basically the way it works is your face is slightly longer than you are wide, and your outline of your face is sort of like an inverted egg shape. And your face is widest at the cheekbones and your forehead is fairly broad. So my face shape, I'm an oval. It is considered the classical face shape because generally it means you are quite symmetrical, and it also means that you can carry a lot of great hairstyles, but I'm not going to be going into that today. The next one is your round face shape. So your face is pretty well as wide as it is long, and the jawline you'll find is very round and full. So someone like Kate Bosworth has a round shaped face. Next is the long face, and an example of this would be Liv Tyler. Now basically your length is much greater than your width, and your jaw is generally rounded. Now the rectangular face shape is pretty well the same, except instead of having a rounded jaw you have an angled jaw, but that's basically the only difference between the two. Then you have your square face shape. Again, same as oval, your width is pretty well the same as your length. The only thing is the sides of your face is quite straight and your jawline is very strong. So an example of this would be someone like Keira Knightley. She has a square shaped face. Next we have the heart-shaped face. This is also known as the inverted triangle. Basically your jawline is quite long and pointed, and you have a much wider forehead. So if your face sort of forms an inverted triangle, or if you're thinking like a heart, heart is specific if you have a widow's peak. So someone like this would be Reese Witherspoon. She has a genuine heart-shaped face. The next shape face is a triangle face, and this is basically the opposite to heart. So instead of having a pointed jaw, you have a very strong, almost square jaw, and then you taper up to having a very narrow forehead. So an example of this would be someone like Minnie Driver. Her face is triangle. And then the final face shape is the diamond, and it literally forms a diamond where your cheeks are quite wide and then you come to a point at your chin and you start to narrow up towards your forehead. Now someone like this would be Scarlett Johansson, so her face is a natural diamond, and this one is great when you are working with your blushes and cheeks, because you generally have naturally prominent cheekbones anyway. So those are the basic face shapes, and the way you can go about, there are plenty of measuring tools on the internet where you can measure your face and figure out exactly what your the shape of your face is, but that's just a bit of an idea for you to go into the mirror and just sort of narrow it down to what you think you might be. So if we now go on to colouring, there are 3 generic types of colouring or undertones. They are referred to as your undertones, and they are warm, neutral and cool. Warm tones are those that seem to reflect golden because they have orange undertones, and spotting the different skin tones can be difficult at first, but warm tones are generally those that people that tan instead of burning, and gold seems to set them off better than silver with their jewellery. In a later video I will speak in depth about colour selection, but for the moment this particular palette shows a good range of different colours which suit warm tones. So either your skin tone matches one of these, or these are colours that you can wear. Cool tones are essentially the opposite. They're those that reflect pink, and this is because of the blue that is in their skin. And I know you're going to think, what, blue? But it's because they have their undertone is blue. Generally, cool tone skin people are the ones that burn rather than tan, and they wear silver better than gold. They generally have paler skin. Now this is generically because there are dark skin tones which are cool. I know a lot of the sort of the Sudanese rich black coloured skin tones, they're all blue undertones where they almost glow purple. It is so beautiful. Anyway, and this particular palette shows what cool toned people can generally wear better. And as you can see, there's a lot of blues in there because obviously if you've got blue toned skin, that's what you're going to match to. And then you get the neutrals. Now these lucky ducks get the best of both worlds because they can wear both warm and cool colours. Some look better in others. They have to go basically by trial and error to see which ones they can select from both sets of group. Their undertone is yellow based, and I don't know why it means that they can pick from both, but they can. The one thing that neutrals do have to be careful about is choosing a foundation, because if they choose one that's too warm, they'll come out looking orange, and if they choose one that's too pink, they will come out looking washed out and tired. So they don't get it all easy. Once you've determined your skin tone, you will find selecting foundation much easier, but if you're still unsure about your tone, it's better to get a professional to help you pick, because your undertones aren't going to change. Your shade might as you get lighter or darker through the seasons, but your actual tone won't. So once you've got it, you know what it is. Okay, I'm always warm or I'm always cool. So once you understand that, it'll save you a lot of problems over the future. And now finally we get to skin types. So this is what we can actually play with. Again, this is crucial when you're selecting your products for your face, whether it's for your cleansing or your foundations and covering. So the first type is normal, and these guys I'm very jealous over. Basically, their skin produces the right amount of oil, so their surface texture is consistent across their entire face. Their skin is generally smooth, blemish-free, their pores are quite small, and they don't generally have much problem with breakouts. And if you do, it's sort of those very, very small bumps, not like big cystic acne or something like that. The next type of skin is dry skin, which is, funny enough, dry. You'd find that skin feels quite tight, particularly after washing. And they do have a tendency towards fine wrinkles, particularly as they get older. They get flaking and red patches. And if you're a woman of colour, skin can appear ashy and dull, which is a result of dead skin buildup. The next type of skin is oily skin, which is the opposite of dry. Basically, your glands produce a lot more oil than is actually necessary. So your skin often looks shiny, particularly in the T-zone, which is across your forehead and down your nose to your chin. And you probably have very enlarged pores, so the little holes in your face can actually be seen, particularly over your nose. You're probably prone to blackheads and breakouts. And acne, which is, of course, what everybody is most concerned about generally with their skin. The good thing about oily skin is it doesn't tend to age as much, so it retains its youthful appearance for a lot longer, and this is because of the excess oil. It protects it from a lot of the external negative effects from the environment. Combination skin, which is the next one, is usually a mix of normal, dry and oily skin. So you probably have a slightly oily T-zone, dry cheeks and dry patchy spots here and there. You probably have larger pores somewhere on your cheeks and possibly your forehead. And for the rest of it, the skin type generally has median pores, and you do generally have a smooth and even texture, but not always, and your colour is usually pretty even. So good and bad for combination skin. And then the final type is sensitive skin. So this tends to be quite thin and delicate with very, very small pores. You find that a lot of products irritate the skin, and especially things like the sun and other cosmetics products do this. And if you wind up getting, man, I keep saying so many times, I'm going to stop saying Anyway, get redness, itchiness, etc. This is likely sensitive skin. So, when you put all this together, your shape, tone and type, you have a basic profile of what your face is, with which you can then go forth and start putting together all your products, from your cleansing, your foundations, your powders, etc, etc. For me personally, just for my profile, I have an oval face. I am neutral toned and I'm quite oily, which means I do break out a lot. And I have very large pores across my nose. So that's my profile. So that pretty well does it for this particular video. My last 101 beauty basics will be on colouring, and then I'll start moving on to actually doing some of the applying makeup, etc. Which, yay, no more boring talking. We actually get to see things. Hooray! So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments at all, leave a comment below and I'll get to you. I'll also leave the link to my blog where I will put up some descriptions as well as the pictures. And we'll go from there. Until next time.